Hey guys, B-Man Dan here with We Say Bees. I'm sitting here right next to some bottle brush. My face is all up in here and bees are all over this and they could care less that I exist. I'm sure it's not personal. They just want their food and they want to go home. Now this bush is teeming with bees. There's hundreds of bees all over here, over there. Wherever you see red is the same bush. It goes all the way around this park. And it's very common for people to see these bees and freak out because they think these bees are going to attack them, especially with all the stories about Africanized bees, Africanized genetics, killer bees coming up from South America and they're going to wipe us out. It really doesn't work that way. When the bees are out here looking for food, it's just like us going to the grocery store and picking a fight over that single banana and killing someone over it. It's a little foolish, but that's the analogy. Or killing ourselves because we want a banana so badly. That's a really horrible analogy, but it's really spot on with what happens with the bees. When they sting people, they die. Because their stingers are barbed, it gets ripped out of their bodies, and they perish. But there's no home for them here. They're not going to defend that single flower when there's a bunch of other flowers. They only defend their home, only defend their babies, and defend their colony. And when they're out here, they could care less. That's why you can hear the humming, because they're not trying to hide. When the bees are protecting their colony, when they're at home, they're quiet. They go stealth mode, ninja mode, because they don't want to be discovered by some other creature looking to harvest their honey, harvest their pollen, and eating their babies. Brood pollen. It's a great source of protein. But take a look at them. They could care less I exist. I can poke them. Hi girls. Boop, boop, boop. Boom, boom, boom. And she don't care. She just can go on her merry way. So that's what all these bees are doing. They're just looking for food, and then they just want to go home. They don't want to die on the way home. That's a horrible, horrible, horrible way to go. The reality is that we brought bees in America. They pollinate 1/3 of the foods that we eat. So when you think about it, they're pretty important to our lifestyle. We have a lot of monocrops in America, which produces a lot of yield cheaply, but we also need a lot of bees to pollinate those. So they're very critical to our ecosystem that we created. For this bush specifically, this one's just kind of hitting its stride. It's been in bloom for about a month. This is the older blooms. See how it's less perky as the other ones? And then this nice vibrant red, it's just spectacular, almost like a firework. And then this is just blooming, and then you've got new pods coming. So this is going to be in bloom for a while, so it's going to be feeding and nourishing not just bees but bumblebees. You've got other sorts of wasps and pollinators. I forgot the number, but there's thousands and thousands in our ecosystem that we're not even aware of. So we want to be able to provide space, food, because we took their land. This is all housing. We took away their land, we took away their space, we took away their home. So the least we can do is actually plant flowers and things that are going to be nourishing them, that are going to take care of them, because I personally feel it's our duty. That's why we rescue bees, we save bees, we risk our lives to make sure they're taken care of. And this is all ice plant, so the bees absolutely love ice plant too. Now I know some of you out there aren't exactly bee lovers. You're not insect lovers. They give you the creepies, the crawlies, and they give you the heebie-jeebies. Well, we still need them, and not liking them doesn't change the fact that we depend on them for survival. We depend on food, and we depend on them to keep the little things going. For example, yellow jackets. This area is probably teeming with yellow jackets as well. We've got a barbecue pit over here, which means when people have picnics, there's going to be yellow jackets that are going to be or what they call meat bees, which aren't bees, but whatever. But they're going to be coming after proteins. They're going to be coming after your sodas, and you can't really do anything about them. And then we've got trash cans. This is notorious for having all sorts of different bugs come in here for food. And we've got this big old canyon in this area, which means there's probably half a dozen yellow jacket nests over here, and then wild bees just somewhere back here. And that's going to be completely normal. We can't control that. We cannot control that. We just need to learn to understand them and learn to coexist with the creatures that we've displaced. Remember, they were here first. Having worked with a lot of property managers and apartments, parks, and all sorts of facilities where people are around and frequent, obviously we still have to deal with the problem of having bees and people getting stung. So if we wipe out all these plants here, sure, we can probably put in things that bees don't like that tree right there. There's usually never bees foraging that, but we've got this one, this jacaranda. The bees absolutely love this one. This is in bloom, and then you got eucalyptus and all fun stuff. So we can't wipe out their ecosystem and make this place so manicured that there's no bees, no lizards, nothing, because that's just a little foolish. So what we want to do is just understand their behavior, knowing that these bees aren't going to be outside. They could care less about you. Avoid the area. Other people might get stung because they could be wasps or yellow jackets, or if kids are rolling around in these, or the other thing is if kids are rolling around in the grass, well, there's bugs there and you might get stung. That's just part of nature, part of everything. But as far as the bees on the flowers attacking people, that's utter hogwash. That's not the case. That's not how they behave, not what they do. I've been working with bees for the better part of 15 years. I've rescued over 5,000 colonies. I've seen aggressive hives. I've seen really gentle hives. I've seen a good plethora of everything mixed in between. I've worked with bumblebees. I've worked with other types of bugs, because that's just part of our job. And it's our jobs as humans to protect the land and to coexist with it, not to control it, not to dominate it, and not to run away from it, because we can't run away from food. We need them. We need food, so we've got to deal with it. And then very last thing I'm going to say about bees is most of the time people get stung accidentally because they're swatting at a bee. If they're flying around the face, people panic and freak out and start swatting back and forth. And what ends up happening is their stingers on the back of their bodies, at the very tail end of their butts. Boop. And what ends up happening is when you hit them, their body curls, and that slap forces their stinger out and into the skin, and that's when people get stung. Or they hit the bee against their skin and then bam, you got stung again. Or in the pool, the bees are drowning technically, and they latch on to the nearest thing that they can hold on to, which could be a human body, and then bam, get stung on accident because they're wet and they're panicking slightly because they're suffocating, because they don't have lungs like we do. They breathe through their abdomen, and so when those get closed up, they panic a little bit. I don't think that bees panic like we do, but they definitely want to breathe just like we do. And so they're going to scramble a little bit, and sometimes that wetness combination of skin gets you stung as well. That's not purposeful, that's not malicious, that's just pure accident, and that's part of life. So that's all I got, guys. Thank you for visiting, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, shoot us a message, drop us a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.